I remember some time ago I made a video about one Bashir Tripp who'd attempted vehicular homicide on her husband at the time. But I don't know if I assume he died. It was pretty bad. The footage was very graphic. A lot of people caught the footage of her running this guy over, getting out of the car, hitting him with the muffler. I think the back end of the car had been ripped off. She picked it up and bludgeoned his prone, bloody body with it on camera, and did like a rap pose while the police and paramedics were attending to the guy. And then she was finally arrested and whatnot. And she couldn't give a whole hell of a lot. And basically she was mad because he was divorcing her, I believe. And she kept talking about how she had given him all these years of her life. And, I guess that was why she felt such ownership of this man that she could, do something horrible like this to him. Like, almost like an overseer, I want to talk about this shit, okay? And when I did that Bashir Tripp video, I think that happened in Virginia or something, or somewhere, but the case I'm talking about right now, Yasmin Elder, she's a local, not so much a phenomenon and shit, but there are a lot of women out there like this, and they come in all shapes and sizes, and they have their gender is the greatest shield. It's the greatest asset. The fucking peace league down there, Now, this woman, she pinned down her boyfriend of 1 month, well, probably less than a month. She wrestled him down, pinned him down because she weighed more than him, and poured bleach all over his face and into his gullet, into his stomach. She poured bleach, and she did this shit in a car, by the way. And she poured this shit down him, and the guy escaped from her and was able to make it to a friend's house before he succumbed to the chemicals attacking his internal organs. He eventually died later that evening. That happened around 1 o'clock at night, and he died. He succumbed to his injuries at 3:26 a.m. It's a shame. He had children. He was a father. I was made aware of this when I watched Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's video, and then I noticed that the Breakfast Club did a Donkey of the Day for this female, and another content creator she covered as well, but there wasn't much there. And this happened years ago, around 2017 or so. So, I just want to let you know that she only got 15 years for that. She killed the father of I think 2 or 3 kids. Good guy. He had a job. His only crime was that he didn't choose correctly with a female. And he chose a female that was bigger than him. She wasn't taller than him, but she was she was a body positive. She was shorter than him. And I don't want to hear this bullshit. Black men usually pick black women and shit. We take garbage and shit, okay? We take the garbages of the dregs of humanity and shit. And this is going to be a life lesson for you young guys out there. I know you're in I'm talking about the guys that's in my neck of the woods over here in the Chi. There's some fucked up women out here. It is some fucked up, super fucked up women. You're always going to find thuggish ass women over here, but this is a special breed of thuggish ass women and shit, okay? Back in the day during the great, migrancy and shit to Chicago, a lot of these motherfuckers' ancestors came from the South, the deep South, like Mississippi, Arkansas, Memphis, a couple other places down there, maybe Tennessee, migrated over here to Chicago because of white supremacy and the fucking, where they were originally. And they came up here and they made lives. They found that it was easier to have that American dream here in Chicago because they had worked so hard in the fields. And my own mother had picked cotton and shit as an infant. She actually picked cotton and shit. I used to have pictures of her with the bag of cotton, and she was like a little 5-year-old kid out there in the field. I just want to put things in perspective. These people, some of these fucked up people, I call them mongrelized people, dregs of humanity, are descendants of these people that came here and they brought their ignorance with them and shit, and they passed this shit down to generations. These are some of the motherfuckers that you got in gangs, you know, they do these heinous shits, and then, you know, you have tethers coming in. You know, it's just a shit show. It's a melting pot, truly. It's a negative melting pot and shit. But in Chicago, you know, this shit on these females and shit. There's a special kind of female that you need to keep your head on the swivel and shit. They're criminal-minded. There's some big, fat motherfuckers, you know? They all come in all sizes of shape, but I've seen this a lot. Like some brother just hooking up with the chick. I want to tell you, like sometimes you see the brother with the fat chick. He's not necessarily dating the fat chick and shit over here. He's probably dating one of her body parts and shit, you know? This partialism is real heavy over here because a lot of these females are criminal-minded, they're overweight, they have issues and shit. You know, the regular issues that we talk about all the time. But I feel bad, you know, it hurt me in my heart when I saw that this guy had fought for his life and he was still he still succumbed to her weight and was murdered. She murdered him with impunity, and then she laughed when they told her about it and shit. I've seen this before. You talk about like the lack of value of young men's lives and whatnot. I've seen it growing up here. That's why I didn't stay here. That's why I had left and I went to somewhere else for like 3 decades and shit. You know, and I was pretty happy there. You know? There's a special kind of criminality and shit. You know, you gotta be careful with some of these females. You gotta keep your head on the swivel. Keep them at arm's distance. Do not give them any kind of don't wife them up. Okay? Don't claim them as your girlfriend. When they keep them at a distance, you gotta see their family, you gotta see all that shit. And even then you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what she came with. This female, she can hide behind mental illness and shit, but I'm just gonna call her a monster. She killed a man. Alright? She killed a man. In the most horrific way. He died slowly. From 1 a.m. to 3:26, he was dying, knowing that he was leaving his kids behind and his family. And his family said they didn't forgive her and that she needs to stay in jail for a long time. And, you know, the state government gave her 15 years. So she'll be out of jail. She'll have served her sentence if she goes straight through without just early release. She'll get out when she's 39 years old. And who knows what condition she'll be in and shit. She might get out, she might kill again. Alright, she might kill again and shit. She's gonna get out. It's like 2017 and shit. And she's gonna get out, man. You know? Sorry, this shit just gets to me, man. Because, like, I always talk about that. Like how, you know, guys talk about how the women get mad when you date out. You know, when you get out of the community and shit. I'm not gonna talk about statistics and numbers and shit, but I want to impress upon you young men that, you know, when you find a female with this mindset, you need to get the fuck out of there or keep her at arm's distance or just break it off. They have an innate sense of ownership of you. And the innate sense of ownership of you, honestly, you know, like you're a property, okay? They feel that way about you, but they don't feel that way. They don't feel that way about themselves and whatnot. They have a sense of entitlement. They're the worst, what I call a basic bitch, a basic female. They have nothing to offer other than their disgusting, used up peace sleeve and shit. They only fit the most basic definition of being a woman, a cisgender woman, I guess I should say. Keep your head on the swivel and shit. Do not fuck with these women. Do not give away the bank and shit. Don't give away shit. Treat them how they want to be treated. Treat them like trash. Alright, treat like trash, man. You find these ghetto ass females out there, don't fuck with them. I've been seeing these kind of women since I was a kid. Since I was a Head Start, I've been seeing these thuggish, fucked up looking women and shit. And I've seen a weird offshoot of it over in like, the South. You got these women that just kind of built like prepubescent kids, but they had adult-looking heads, and they do all this disgusting shit. They don't have no education. They're like mongrels. You know, that's all shoot. To me, that's all shoot of what the fuck you see in Chicago. That's why like a regular-looking chick with regular proportions, it's like a high-grade number and shit. If you go with the value system and shit, like a LA 5 would be a 10 over here in Chicago compared to some of this shit. Like some of these fat, sloppy, nasty ass motherfuckers that look like, Gabrielle Siddle-Bay looking motherfucker, Lizzo looking motherfucker. No shit on Lizzo, but just her, just the body type, And they usually go after these smaller guys. They go after shitty guys. Then they know they can't get a high value man. They're going after a shitty low value man, somebody with like a dead end job, and somebody that's into playing this video games and all that. They want to control that motherfucker. And some of them want to weaponize their wounds and shit. I don't know what to say. Nobody should go through shit like that. Yeah, I remember like a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago, I posted a clip of a dude trying to get out of an abusive relationship, and this female was trying to drag him. This female, like Yasmin Elder, was trying to drag him away back to her home in public. It was like middle of the night, and this guy attempted to jump in front of an oncoming L train and end his life rather than be taken, captured and taken back to her place. He was screaming for help. He's like, "Let me die, just let me die." And I get that. Don't get to that. Don't let it get that far. All right? Treat them how they want to be treated. Okay? If you got a criminal-minded bitch, you best need to get the fuck out of there. And don't be bringing her around your house. Don't be giving her no information. Shit. Call her ass on a block number. That's nothing. That's trash. That's a public utility, man. She don't deserve nothing. They got some fucking hang-ups and shit. Fat as fuck. They got an angry expression on their face. Some of them look like what I mentioned before, the demonic imp look, where they look built like a little kid, but they got a woman's head on it. It's so fucked up. A lot of them got unresolved mental issues and shit. That is not your fucking responsibility. It's not your responsibility to fix her life. She made shitty decisions. When you make shitty decisions, they tell you to suck it up. When they make shitty decisions, it's everybody else's fucking fault. When they have issues, it's everybody else's fucking fault and shit. I feel like telling a story. I'm not gonna tell a story. I got a funny story I want to tell, but this ain't no laughing matter. I want to say, metaphorically speaking, honestly, not YouTube's standards and practices notwithstanding, this man died from 1 a.m. to 3:26. He died. He succumbed to his chemical burns inside his body at 3:26 a.m. It sucked. He succumbed to that shit. And the only thing that's comparable to that, I guess they don't have a death penalty for this female. She needs to get the death penalty for this shit. Alright? Yasmin Elder was 5'3", 207 pounds. The boyfriend, smaller guy. Physically speaking, he was 5'7", and he weighed 130 pounds. Alright? So she had 77 pounds on him. She was able to, wrestle him down and, use a bottle of bleach that was inside the van and fucking kill him and shit, Now, the only thing I think that would be comparable to that, metaphorically speaking, is a dumb bullet shot to her belly. Alright? An LAPD sheriff, a sheriff's lieutenant, once told me that is one of the most painful ways you can die. He didn't know about this bleach shit. He didn't think about that, but I think it would be comparable, a bullet shot to her fat ass gut. To that fat ass gut, that extra bit of flab that she used to hold him down and murder him. And she laughed. She don't give a fuck. This ain't her. You look at her mugshot, she ain't doing that for the camera. That's who she is. She's a monster.
Also tonight, the case of a woman accused of running down her husband with a car is headed forward.
Yeah, this happened at a very public place, as you'll remember. 34-year-old Bashira Tripp is charged in the incident that took place at Janif Shopping Center back in August. We've learned of a history of violence between the two as this case continues. 10 on your side's Chris Horn has more from court and what Tripp told police.
Eyewitnesses testified today pretty much what we all saw in the video that circulated on social media shortly after the August incident. After she struck him with her car right here in the parking lot at the Janif Shopping Center, she picked up the loose bumper that had come off the car and struck him with that while he lay motionless on the ground. A Norfolk police detective said in court that Tripp asked, "Did I kill my child's father?" during her arrest, and asked, "Is he okay?" The detective was among 4 prosecution witnesses. A dental employee and a man waiting for his daughter said they saw Tripp accelerate her Honda sedan in the direction of her husband, James Johnson, strike him, and then crash the car into other vehicles, tearing off its bumper. The witnesses both said she then lifted the loose bumper and slammed it down onto her husband, who was already motionless from being struck by the car. The detective also said that Tripp told him she and her husband had been in a violent argument earlier that week over one of their 2 children, and that her husband had punched her in the face. The detective said he observed that Tripp had a black eye and broken tooth, consistent with her story. Tripp also told police about an incident last April when she said Johnson was violent then, and how she wanted to break a wine bottle over his head and then use the broken glass to stab him. Johnson's sister says he remains hospitalized in a vegetative state 8 months later. He has a skull fracture and numerous other injuries.
I'm heartbroken, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm scared.
Judge Randolph Carlson decided there was enough evidence for probable cause in the charge of aggravated malicious wounding against Tripp and sent her case to the grand jury. In Norfolk, Chris Horn, 10 on your side.